welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin, and sitting across from me, as always, the prettiest girl I know, Londa Sherwood Austin, my beautiful blushing bride. How are you today?
Fantastic.
You had a great lunch today.
I did with our star cousins, Alice, who we talk about a lot. I had a great lunch with Alice. Just the girls today.
Yep, you had a good girls' lunch today.
Yep.
We had a major appliance delivered today.
Oh, new refrigerator, who dis?
And and it's a work day, and we've been super, super busy. I got to tell you, everything's turning up roses today. It's just been a great day so far. And I'm super excited because tonight I'm going to take you on a celebrity dream date to the Melting Pot in Tampa, Florida.
It's not fancy, but I love it.
The Melting Pot is fancy. I don't know what you're talking about. They're plush, they're fancy, they're private tables. Yeah. I mean, the Melting Pot is...
It's cheese.
It's total cheese. Total cheese. I
love it.
At the Melting Pot.
Fondue. You know what? I have fond memories of fondue because when I was a kid, my mom would let us choose our dinner meal on our birthday, right? And I always picked one of two things. Either her lasagna, which was phenomenal.
Okay. My mom had good lasagna too.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Or fondue.
Fondue?
Because I loved it because it was interactive and it was fun. And looking back, my mom worked full time and worked on her feet. She was a lab tech, so she's on her feet all day and had bad feet and all that stuff. But would come. Well, I'm trying to paint a picture of how hard she worked.
Right, I gotcha.
And she was in pain all the time. And then some brat in her house requests fondue, which is the most labor-intensive meal on the planet. But she did it and did it happily, and at least I think it was happily. I don't know, but it was great. So fondue is very happy memories for me.
So when it comes to birthdays, you do fondue.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
I'm dumb. That's bad. You're right. I like puns and dad jokes, though.
Yes.
I'm all about them.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell any right now because we've got a show to move along. So
we do.
Go ahead.
Speaking of.
Yes.
Because my job is to circle us back.
Keep us going.
You mentioned that we had an appliance delivered this morning.
We did have
Let's talk about that
major
experience.
appliance. Okay, great.
I'm stealing your coffee right
That's
now.
perfectly fine. Okay, picture this. Your refrigerator starts making a strange sound.
Maybe you call a repair person.
No. You don't it's fine. The table moves a lot. It's aggressive.
I hit the screen.
Did you with your body?
For those of you watching on YouTube, I just slammed my hand into our brand new curved monitor. I don't know what this thing is. It's a huge monitor.
Yes.
And I just slammed it with my hand.
For editing the podcast before we put it on YouTube.
And eventually our logo will be up here.
Yes.
Right now we have this lovely mountainscape for some reason.
It reminds me of driving through White Pass, actually. For like 6 minutes a year, you've got some growth on the side and it's green.
Okay. But anyway, so that, sorry to interrupt, it just startled me when I hit it. Yes, the refrigerator was making crazy noises. Some people might call a repair person. We did not.
Well, the reason we didn't is because it was the refrigerator that came with the house, and the people who lived there before us said, we don't know how to get filters for it, so we don't use it at all. Yeah. They don't talk that way, but I figured it'd be fun to do a funny voice, and I thought that one was relatively inoffensive. Is that true?
Yeah, so it's making weird noises. It's hard to find filters.
And when I say it's hard to find filters, you have to have a PhD in quantum physics.
And
you literally need to be a rocket scientist like your brother to be able to get filters for this refrigerator.
It's dumb, and then it takes forever. After you order it, it takes forever to be
6
delivered.
weeks.
And I can't figure out why, because again, referring to one of our other podcasts, Amazon Prime has changed my expectations of delivery times.
It's because the refrigerators were specialty made for one major retailer. I believe that retailer was Best Buy.
I don't know.
And they've discontinued it. So now the filters Live Nowhere. And it was a branding thing with Culligan water. So there's special Culligan water filters. And again, this should have been an off-air conversation because you just fell asleep in mid-sentence.
Just for a second, though. And then I was right back with you.
You black out in the middle of a conversation. I know I'm going down the wrong road.
Let's talk about Greg.
Okay, let's talk about Greg at Famous Tate, the furniture store Famous Tate, who is a turtle. They have Tater the Turtle, I guess, is their mascot.
Yes.
It's a funny name for a store. But you know what? They have wonderful knowledge of appliances. They're Lakeland. Well, they're not Lakeland. They're a Florida-based company, and they're in Lakeland. And I don't think they're in any other states. I don't recall that for sure. Do you?
All I know is that we rolled up to the first appliance store and immediately left.
We didn't even get out of the car. We barely slowed down.
It looked very scary and just not like someplace that I'd want to spend time. So then we kept driving and saw Famous Tate.
Famous Tate, yep.
And so we went in on a whim,
not
blind,
knowing what to expect because the name is a little goofy.
And we met Greg Leeper.
That's exactly right. How do you remember Greg's last name?
When I have great service and it kind of locks in my head. Also, I sent him a thank you note in the mail, so I wrote his name, so I kind of remember it from that.
Super guy. Here's what I liked most about Greg Leeper's service at Famous Tate, the appliance store. He was super knowledgeable. He was not in any way trying to supersize our purchase. They had refrigerators from $1,200 to $13,000. And he just let us lead the
He did a great job asking questions and assessing our needs.
He did.
And then and then giving us options and helping us narrow down our options, which is a great sales process, in my opinion.
That's exactly right. And so he did all the things right.
And he was pleasant. He was cheerful. He seemed happy to be there. He was engaging. He told us all about the turtle. The only thing I was disappointed is I wanted to open the refrigerator today when they delivered it, and there was one of the stuffed turtles.
Oh, that would have been good.
So I would say to them, please put one of the stuffed turtles in the refrigerator, the appliance when you deliver it. It's so much fun.
Especially if you tell the people who the turtle is and what the story is with Famous Tate, because we were very interested.
And here's where I would take it one step further.
Okay.
Because we were offline, right? We were in the store with him, and your offline should always point people to your online, and your online should always point people to your offline. Okay?
Yes.
And let me give an example of that.
Okay.
So I would tell them there's going to be a special surprise inside your refrigerator.
Okay.
When you get it, follow the instructions.
I like it so far.
So you open the refrigerator, and the instructions are you take a selfie with Famous Tate, you post it, you tag them in it.
Yes.
And you could even and when we see your tag, then every month all those tags we put everybody into a drawing for something, and a free lunch or a something.
I like that.
Right? Are you sad?
It went to the screensaver and then it shut off. I don't understand how this new monitor works.
But we're learning.
The truth. We are learning, yes.
And you could just shut it off and then it would just be black, or you can leave it just like that.
I'll just leave it.
All right. But anyway, so that's something that they could easily do that would grow their online audience, but then it points people back to offline, because you could win a prize. And you could either have that mailed or delivered, or have the people come into the store to pick it up, however you want to do it.
And whether or not you win a prize, if you've got a little stuffed animal of Famous Tate that the grandkids can run around with and play with, you're now brand loyal forever.
Yeah,
it's
even
just
if
like
they don't follow the instructions and do the online stuff, you've got a piece of advertising in
their
home.
house. That's exactly right. It's just like radio stations. The reason they do radio contests is not because they love hearing people on their airwaves. It's because they know if you win a radio contest, you are now a P1 listener. That is your radio station.
Interesting.
If you win on a radio station, you tell all your friends, oh my God, I won on so-and-so radio. Oh
Right.
my God. That's exactly why they do it.
Right.
Just like if our grandchildren are running around the house with a little stuffed famous Tate.
I really wanted 2 of those turtles for Beckham and Maverick. I'm not going to lie.
Well, hopefully Greg hears this
That'd be great.
and leaps to it.
Okay.
Because he's Greg Leaper.
Greg, I need actually 4 of them.
That's funny. That's good stuff.
But he did everything right.
He did everything
my
right.
opinion.
Yep, he did everything right. He called us the second it hit the warehouse, and then they came the first business day after he called us.
Yep.
And here's the best part about their follow-through and their delivery service. They said they'd be here this morning between 9:15 and 11:15. They showed up at 9:15 on the dot, and I bet they drove around the block 3 times so they wouldn't be early because they know people don't like to be inconvenienced.
Right.
Then those kids jumped out of that truck, came in the house right away,
Yeah.
asked us what the situation looked like, meaning how
They
we wanted
assessed
them.
it.
That's right. And I said, well, Greg says you'd be willing to move this refrigerator into the garage, and I figure we'll go out the front door and bring the new one in the front door. And he's like, oh, that's perfectly easy. And
Yep.
they were gone in I'd say less than half an hour.
Yeah. It was great.
It was great.
So again, his sales process was very appealing
Yep.
to us.
Yep.
He did a great job. And again, the only thing I would do maybe to improve the experience would be I need a turtle in my refrigerator when I open it, and a handwritten thank you note.
Oh,
Which is something that I do all the time. Most people forget about.
right.
And there's such power in it because, and I can prove it right now. Anyone listening to this, when you go to pick up your mail,
Go ahead. It's okay. There you are. There you are. You got it out.
when you go to pick up your mail,
Yes.
you shuffle through it. And what do
Yes.
you pick out first?
The things with handwritten address notification on the front every single time. Or something that looks like a birthday card. As my birthday is here now. This is the season of my birthday.
Season of David.
And yeah. So
yeah. So handwritten cards
Absolutely.
still mean a lot to
Yep.
people. They still work. And what I mean by work is they connect people relationally.
Yes.
And again, back to last week's podcast, or our last podcast where I shared, it's so easy to stand out
Yes.
in today's economy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way that you can stand out.
Well, and I would say mail it for sure because it'd be cool to think they could put the thank you note and the stuffed animal in the fridge, but the refrigerator is at a warehouse, not at the store.
Right.
So they
Yeah,
probably don't cross paths in the morning
Just
when
mail
they're
a
loading the
thank you
truck.
note.
Yep, mail a thank you note the day they come in
Yep.
and buy the refrigerator. That's smart. And you sent him a thank you note that day.
I did.
So there you go.
Whenever I have good interaction with someone, I
Yep.
try to send a thank you note. And I've had clients who've said, well, I don't have their address. Well, okay, well, I don't have a lot of people's address, but I know where they work.
Right.
So I just send it to work
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you message them and say, hey, I've got a little something to pop in the mail to you. Can I get your mailing address? I've
Right.
never had anyone tell me no.
That's right. Never.
And out of the thousands of people that I've asked.
Right.
So, yeah, I just think it's a great thing to do whenever you have good service, whenever you meet with a client. It's a great follow-up. Even on the phone when you talk to a client, it's a great follow-up.
And we bought a really nice refrigerator.
So stupid.
No, it's not stupid. We had a nice looking refrigerator, but it didn't have all the major upgrades and bells and
The
whistles.
features.
Like the super cool half door on the front that when you open it, there's, I don't know what's there. You loaded the fridge. Did you put the hint waters in there?
I sure did.
I knew you would. Hint water. It's a hint, an essence of fruit in every sip The front of our refrigerator is chock full
That's right.
of Hint water. That's Londa's favorite non-alcoholic beverage.
It is.
Hint water. Get it
love
at
it.
Target. Get it at
Aldi.
and other fine retailers
You
across
can
the
order it
nation.
on Amazon, I think.
You can order it on Amazon, and I've had people listening to this podcast do exactly
Yep.
that. So again, Hint water, a hint, an essence of fruit in every sip. Go ahead.
I do love it, and I prefer getting it at Aldi because they have a 12-pack that's multi-flavored.
Yes, they do. They have the
Target
multi-flavored
needs
12
to get
pack.
it together, man.
Target wants you to pick out all the different flavors individually, and then because it's not just Hint water, it's orange Hint water or cherry Hint water or whatever the flavors are, Hint
gosh.
water. They got to ring them up one by one, and they separate them there in this check stand.
I think that was just that one person who did that.
That was not excellent customer service, but boy, I tell you, Target knows exactly how many Hint waters we moved out that day because she clustered them in groups of 3 or 4
gosh.
and then rang them up that way.
Yeah, that
so,
was weird.
Yeah, you prefer going to Aldi where you can just buy 12 and it's 3 of each and then you're out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and I
easier.
can tell a story about what not to do.
Okay.
As it relates to Aldi, since we're talking about it, because I had a bizarre experience.
Okay. This is the weirdest, kind of scariest thing I've heard you talk about in a long time, and I'm so happy I was sitting in the car talking on the phone to one of my business partners when you had this experience. Go.
Nobody's going to learn anything in these next few minutes, but I guarantee you'll be entertained.
Oh, they're going to learn.
You're going to learn something. So I go to Aldi, and there's a paper sign on the front door that says closed due to power outage.
Meanwhile, bright sunshiny day.
However, when I walked up, as I was reading the sign, the doors opened because they're automatic doors and all the lights were on inside.
Right.
So I thought, are they closed due to power outage or are they not because the doors opened and the lights are on? So I know what I'll do. I'll kind of gingerly make my way in and to someone, and I walked in. Just inside the door, I said, excuse me, are you open or are you closed? I'm not sure. And someone who was down an aisle stocking shelves looked at me, said nothing. And so I started walking toward them. I said, because I thought maybe they didn't hear me. I said, excuse me, are you open or closed? I can't quite tell. And I heard from someplace else in the store, who let a customer in the store?
Shocking.
And I said, the door came open on its own. I didn't. And again, who let a customer in the store? I was now frightened and I didn't know what to do. And I locked eyes with the person who was stocking the shelves. And we just stood there staring at each
Both
other
scared looking.
because we were both in trouble, but we didn't know why.
Thank God this was your experience exclusively and not mine, because I'm prone to hyperbole, and me yelling what you just yelled would sound unbelievable. It's absolutely believable coming out of your mouth. And thank God it was you.
Someone rounded the corner who looked like they, had authority in
and
the
just
place.
had yelled at the people in the place.
And said to me, who let you in the store? In a very abrupt, and I said, the doors let me in the store.
The doors just opened.
By then I was like, listen, you need to take 3 steps back and calm yourself down because now I'm mad.
And then you pulled out your butterfly knife and
No, but I said, the doors let me in the store. I didn't know. Well, I can't help you. And she starts like motioning me to the door and coming toward me to get me to back up to the door. I'm like, I'll leave. That's fine. But I don't know why this person was so terrified that I was in the store. I don't know.
It is weird.
They were weird about loss prevention, maybe. But anyway, so that happened at Aldi, and then she said that the power just came back on, but I don't have the registers back up, and all of it shouting at me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
if we had puppets, we could have just reenacted that with puppets.
No.
And we could have done slightly inappropriate accents.
You've got to let your puppet dream go.
I think there's a kid from Azerbaijan in the store that works there at Aldi.
Please help me.
And it's true. It's true. And that kid was very fun to me. And let me tell you, when they ring you up at Aldi, they are not in it to win it. They are in it to get you right out of the store because they are flying those products off that conveyor belt so you can bag your own groceries. I won't do that, but they are not taking time to get to know you and ask about your customer experience.
Well, no, and they don't have to because you know what to expect when you go to Aldi. You know that nobody's going to be, giving you super great service typically. You know that you have to bag your own groceries. You know you're going to work. So while you save money on the products because they're like a discount thing, you're making up the difference by doing your own work.
The thing I like about that place. They gave me
a vest. I bagged my groceries.
Yes. Oh, my God.
No, I only get what I can carry when I go in there. But you get what you expect. They don't have to be great. I was going to talk about sometimes a business will break all the rules of first impressions, customer service, and the sales process and still be successful.
That's right.
It's very true. And Aldi is maybe one of those stores because they are just what they are. You know what to expect when you go in there, and you're not I'm not going into Aldi looking for great customer service experience. I'm looking they're the one place that has the 12-pack of hemp water with multiple flavors, right? So sometimes if you're a specialty, you can break some of the rules. You shouldn't, but you can.
Would you say they're like bargain market grocery outlet? Because I feel that way every time I'm in an Aldi.
Except at grocery outlet, they do bag your groceries, and they are pretty nice and helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't find that at Aldi, but they have some really cool specialty items that I enjoy.
I didn't find it at Aldi.
Oh, gosh.
That's a good one. I'm
going to start appealing to our YouTube
They're not
viewers.
going to be able to help you because we're not doing it live. We're not on YouTube live. There's a way. I've been researching it. I've been researching it.
Yeah, you spent a weekend watching all kinds of YouTube videos.
I sure did.
Figuring out how to do stuff.
Yep, and it was very informative and very good. And we've had this Rodecaster Pro studio in a box essentially since the beginning.
Yeah,
I learned about
all 5 weeks ago
50 things about it in one afternoon on Sunday.
That's fun.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And the guy who I learned the most from is a guy whose name is Tom, and he has a podcast called The Enthusiasm Project. So I love that guy because he speaks my language. It's warm in my little heart that he has the Enthusiasm Project.
That's true.
Yeah, and he's grown his business with his podcast to these live streams and to these pre-recorded programs, and now people, instead of spending ad dollars, are just sending him equipment and saying, "Hey, talk about the equipment. Here you go."
Cool.
Yeah, he gave
Cool.
a thing away on one of the shows I watched the other day. Really neat stuff. And that can be something we do someday, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
We don't know. People can send us all the free stuff they want to, though. I just want to put that out there.
And speaking of that, the hint water lady, here's a hint for her. Yeah. Send us some water.
Well, there's the cutest little boutique in downtown Lakeland, Amelia Page, that we've talked about before. And
we love those girls.
Yes, we do. And I would love to be sponsored by their boutique. And they could just wardrobe me, and I think that would be really fun.
That'd be great. They do not have men's clothes, so I all of a sudden feel left out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll find you someone.
And they do kind of wardrobe you because I buy you a lot of things from there. I do.
Yes, thank you. Another place that we visited recently that kind of breaks all the rules, but was an awesome experience, was Fat Jack's Delicatessen.
Fat Jack's Delicatessen looks on the inside just like it sounds. It's an
whatever you're picturing. That's it.
That's exactly right.
It's I don't want to say.
Go ahead.
They've been there for a long time, and it shows.
40 years, I think.
60, I thought they said.
I don't know.
I don't know. A long time, and it shows.
Yes.
It's cluttered.
It is cluttered, and you have to add some of the clutter to COVID because they took clear shower curtains and hung them between the booths, kind of in a do-it-yourselfer sort of style.
Yeah, it's not attractive.
But it's genius. And here's the best thing about it. Every person in there has been going there for 40 years. So they know how to do the right thing. Right.
I loved the experience.
Loved it.
Even though there was nothing about it that should have made me love the experience. Nothing traditionally.
Here's the thing, though. It's interesting that you say that because I felt like I was with my people. I felt like Delight, who sat with us at the bar. Delight, that's right. Her name's Delight, and she is a delight.
Yes.
Has been going there the entire length of her son's life, and he just turned 33 this week. She told us that when we were sitting with her. I bought her lunch because she was like giving us a guided tour.
It was
of the
like
place.
It was like when you worked at Disney, and what was your job? Tour guide?
I was a tour guide, yes.
So Delight was our tour guide to Fat Jack's Delicatessen.
She was doing the backstage studio tour.
Let me tell you, she introduced us to the owner, to a lot of the employees, to other patrons in the restaurant.
She introduced us to a 35-year-old man who'd been working there since he was 15 years old, and he was happy and great back there like a line cook.
Right.
I mean, what an interesting place. And the best thing about it is everybody that was in there was a business owner.
Yes.
How does that happen?
Yeah. So it's like we've driven past it several times.
Right.
I've wanted to go in. I finally, and it doesn't look appealing from the outside.
Nope.
I finally just said, let's just go for it. Yes. Because additionally, the food was bomb.
I have to ask my father if when I was a kindergartner, we ever ate there. Because they were for sure open then in the strip mall right by his Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, his parking lot, his Kentucky Fried Chicken is adjacent to the parking lot of the little strip mall where Fat Jack's is.
So Lori at Fat Jack's, who actually works there, was terrific. Delight, who does not work there but is a staple.
And she
owns
fantastic. A janitorial service that cleans several businesses and was thrilled to introduce us to every business owner who walked by.
She primarily does the model homes. She works for a builder primarily, but also has other businesses too. But she was fantastic. We just had a great time, and it was one of those places where there's no pretense.
Right.
You feel like you're at home.
Yep.
You're so warmly welcomed.
Yep.
And so what I would say that they have done that's most important is they've treated their staff like family members, because we heard some of the stories. And that culture, as we call it today, has spilled over to their customers, and everybody feels like family when they come in.
Did you notice, and I did because I was sitting right next to the side there, me and Delight were sitting right by the side, and you were on the other dog leg left out of the bar. There was a list of babies with their birth date and their weight. Did you notice that?
I didn't see that.
I bet they were all staff kids that were born during the life of the bar.
Oh, probably.
It was the coolest thing ever. I mean, I really had a great experience there. The food was good. The service was good. The atmosphere was, for me, spectacular. And it's not because of the way it looked.
Right. It was because of the people and the energy. Because if you were to weigh it just on the way it looks, you might be put off.
You might not go back.
Right.
But if you engage with the people in the restaurant, when I said to Delight, I'm buying your stuff, a guy 2 booths away goes, you want to get mine too?
I feel like we're family too. That's what he said. Yeah, it was great. So we had a great time.
So we will be going back there. Really, really nice. Everything was good. The time was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And they have bottled beer, which you can't go wrong with bottled beer. It's always cold.
I don't know. I had iced tea, so I don't know.
Well, I didn't. I had beer. And you had kielbasa sausage.
And sauerkraut. Oh, it was so good.
And I had a bacon cheeseburger. And you're like, why are you getting a bacon cheeseburger?
I'm like, all these
it's
choices.
A delicatessen.
Bacon cheeseburger.
That's exactly
But
right.
you like what you like.
You like what you like. That's right.
Yep.
When you know, you know.
So kudos to them for cultivating a really loving culture, and then so much so that it spills over to their clients, Fat Jack's.
I wonder if the owner, who, and I don't remember, I think his name was Al, but I don't remember. I wonder if he's the son of Fat Jack.
I don't know.
Because he's probably 55, I'm guessing, just looking at him, 55, 60 maybe.
I don't know.
He can't be the guy who opened it.
He didn't move like he was 60. He looked younger
he was
than that.
He was flipping and spinning back there. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's a pass down generationally to him.
I don't know. Maybe someone will hear it and let us know.
And when we go back in, I'll ask again.
Yeah.
I'll ask when we're there. That's one question I should have asked while we were there, because that's interesting to me. And I don't know why that's interesting. I apologize for that if you didn't like it.
I have no opinion about it at all.
Well, you didn't turn and say, help
at the
me.
camera.
So
help me at
maybe
the
it
camera.
wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't so bad. All right, so we had great customer service on a major appliance. Mm-hmm. We had an example of breaking all the rules in customer service, but maybe still being valid,
right?
Which is Aldi, but to me they're dead.
Valuable.
They're
very
dead to me
to
because of how she screamed at you. And thank God I wasn't standing next to you when she did that.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
I would have
as
lost
a customer,
my mind.
As a customer, I think as customers, we sometimes overlook bad behavior because this is the one place I can get this.
Yeah, I don't do that. If you are rude,
that kind
to
of rude.
The person I love,
that's true.
Dead to me.
That is true.
Good luck getting my business, frescoes. Rolling your eyes at my wife.
Yeah.
No,
that's true.
thank you.
I finally found a hippy dippy store that I'm really excited about, Chamberlain's.
Okay.
So I call it a hippy dippy store. It's a, natural food store, organics.
Organic.
And they do fresh juices, and they have all kinds of vitamins and supplements, and they've got, it's one of those places, right? And we had a great experience there with Amy.
We really did. Mm-hmm. She was very knowledgeable. And Dan, I believe he's the owner, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But he seemed ownery, not managery.
Ownery?
You know what I mean, though? Hey, I'm here. If you guys need anything, you let me know, and I'll get right on that for you. Very knowledgeable but kind of doing something different than the regular employees who all wore like a uniform kind of.
But again, he's the one who greeted us and welcomed us into the space.
Right away.
Which is one of the steps of great first impressions.
And he had a whistle and a clipboard, so I'm thinking he must have been important.
No, he didn't. You're such a liar. Anyway, so they followed a number of the rules of good first impressions and customer service as well. So I was really happy about that. So we had a lot of businesses to give shout outs to. And later, in just a few days, we are headed back to Washington. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure when we get back from Washington, we'll have some reviews because we've got lots of stuff going on there.
And when we get back from Washington, I'd like to also make sure we do our wine country edition.
I was just going to say, stay tuned because we've got Greg and Shay Frechette.
That's
are
right.
Be guest starring celebrity guest appearance.
That's right.
Us.
And Shay Frechette is going to talk to us about her customer service ideas.
Yeah, her philosophy
and
of
her
customer
philosophies.
service.
And I got to tell you, that's a lady that is really impressive to me because she's been a trainer for a Fortune 500 company. Mm-hmm. So she's not just some lady accidentally falling into success. No, I don't think you're accidentally falling into success either. What I'm saying is she has the bona fides to practice what she preaches and to be listened to. You know what I mean? Just like you.
Yes.
I love how you downplay your 30 years of executive level sales training. The money that you have invested in your career. Well, yeah. I don't want to talk about how much you've made. I want to talk
specifically
about how much you've invested in it, though, because this has been a journey that has taken you all around the country and brought you to a level of success where you truly are bi-coastal and you own your own business and you run a real estate team and you have a hair salon in Washington. You have been wildly successful.
We've got all that
We've
stuff.
got all that.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
great.
yes.
But the reason you've been so successful is because of your dedication and your interest in forever learning. And the sales training that you've invested in is almost unheard of. And I think that's awesome.
I think it is unusual or, not common anyway.
I would say it's for sure not common, but the level of success you've had is commensurate with that training. And I think that's really cool.
But that's Shay is amazing. And we're excited to have someone
absolutely
of her caliber, come and talk with us.
She's gonna knock it out of the park.
And get into it. I'm excited to dissect her philosophy.
I've been to one of her keynotes where she engages the group and talks about teamwork and all that. And I got to tell you, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So it's exciting.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
We will do that after our trip to the Tri-Cities. And I've been talking to Greg, her husband, for the last week about when we're going to schedule it, and we just haven't connected because we're still in Florida. He's still there at the winery, and so I'm going to go see him and pin him down, and that's how we'll schedule it. So that'll be good.
Yep, and we've got lots of client meetings while we're there. We've got a workshop that we're putting on for salon stylists on
Sunday.
Sometime when we're there. I think it's Monday, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're doing that workshop for them, and so it'll be exciting. And it looks like we may be going back to Washington in July for another workshop.
That's
for,
exactly right.
Business owners. So yeah,
very exciting. Very exciting. Okay, we have, I'm going to say, 8 more minutes left in this program,
or
nope.
Do a shorter program? No, we don't do that.
No, we don't do that. Consistency is key.
Oh.
Consistency is
My
key.
bad.
One thing I want to talk about,
Okay.
because, we go into these shows often with a blueprint. In this case, we didn't have a blueprint when we started this episode. Just like the first episode, we had no...
I said, what are we going to talk about? And you said...
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So what I want to talk about now is the responses we've been receiving about the last few episodes we've done. We talked about the psychology of sales. We've talked about the sales process. I've heard a lot of good things. What are the things you've heard from business owners about those programs?
Well, I've had people reach out and ask to, how much is your workshop? When are you available? What's your, what are your options, your service menu kind of thing. So we've heard that. We've had people that have implemented pieces and parts of what we've shared.
Right.
And they're getting results, because for me, that's what it's about. I don't share information unless it is a tried and true, tested, thoroughly process. I don't share it because I'm not just talking to talk.
Right.
I want to share simple things people can implement immediately and increase their profits.
That's exactly right.
Or sometimes, and this is interesting actually, sometimes it's not even, they don't need more business. They need to be smarter about what they've already got.
Yes.
And that's where we look at processes and practices they already have in place that will increase their efficiency. We examine the systems and make some tweaks and some shifts within those systems. And it's amazing, the people I've worked with, that they end up having more time.
Yes.
Which then makes them feel more peaceful, and then maybe their profits didn't change, but now they've got a whole shift in their life because now they've got more time available. So they can do more work if they want to and increase those profits, or they can spend more time with their family, or they can spend more time doing the things that they love.
Yes.
So So it's not always about the profit, but that's always what I'm going to look at first.
Yes.
Because money talks and bullshit walks. So,
we're not regulated by the FCC. And every time I publish one of these podcasts, I click the little button that says not made for children.
Oh.
So you can say that if you want. And then I'll just start calling you Mindy.
Oh, don't. We love our Mindy.
We do love our Mindy, but she's got a little bit of a potty mouth. Yes.
Lovely sister from another mister. I love her.
I love her too. She married us. What do you mean?
I know. She performed our ceremony.
She sure did.
She got
ordained
at like 11 p.m. The night before we all hiked at 5:30 in the morning because our other friend who was supposed to be the officiant got the stomach flu or food poisoning or something.
I think he was pinwheeling. It was a whole thing.
And so...
and I think he lost 10 pounds. What I've always said about the rotavirus is it's a great way to jumpstart a diet.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I had another experience that was really good. I went and got a manicure and a pedicure.
Yes.
And this is why you always want to be collecting information from people.
Yes.
Because you never know when you can connect people that is going to be really important.
I like that.
As a business person, always be looking to connect people, connect their problems to a solution.
Yes.
And so I went and did that and met a new technician who was doing my nails. And as we were talking, there were, well, I'll just tell you this. I left her with 4 different names and numbers of people to call, to connect with because of the things she was sharing with me. Like, oh, I need, I've just really been wanting to XYZ, but I can't quite figure it out. And I was like, oh, I know somebody who could maybe help you solve that problem. Oh, I know somebody that could blah, blah, blah. Even she was talking about getting a new tattoo.
Yes.
But she doesn't know anybody in town who's good. And I was like, oh, I can connect you right now. Here, I pulled up on my phone his Instagram and showed her some of his work and then sent her.
Do you remember what his Instagram name is? I don't. And I wish I did.
Almighty _ tats. TATZZ.
Okay. Almighty _ tats. TATZZ. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is.
He's a super kid, 19 years old.
Just like our girl in Washington.
Just like our girl Jessica in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. He did this tattoo on me last week. Mm-hmm. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
He did 2 on you because you snuck out in the middle of the day and got 1 tattoo without telling me.
My mom's birth date, which all of my daughters have, and then I got the 4-leaf clover for something else that I did want to talk about. I've had a tremendous number of people reach out to me since our podcast about customer service in healthcare.
Yes, episode 7.
Where I shared about my cervical cancer journey earlier this year. So I've had a lot of people reach out. And so I just want to say to other people who might be wanting to know the same thing. Yes, I'm okay.
Yes.
We made it all the way through. I'm now almost 12 weeks. I guess I'm about 10 or 11 weeks post surgery.
Really?
And
it's been that long?
And I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm starting to get back to my regularly scheduled programming. I went to a yoga class on Friday.
You sure did.
That was fantastic. We've been playing more racquetball.
Yep.
So getting back to normal. And that's why I got the 4-leaf clover, because it symbolizes faith, hope, love, and luck. And I feel like it took a little bit of all 4 of those things to get us through that.
Faith, hope, love, and luck. And that is such a delicate, attractive 4-leaf clover. It's not a cheesy thing that you get for St. Patty's Day and paint it green.
But
you know what I mean?
But it is a little nod to my Irish heritage as well.
I was going to do an inappropriate Irish accent, but because I look like a member of that team, no one would be offended.
Oh, goodness. So that's it. That's
well, I got
what else you got?
I got mine to celebrate your post-cancer diagnosis, and the meaning for the compass I was telling my children is you are my true north.
Aww.
So I wanted to get that to celebrate you coming through the other side, and I'm very proud of you. And I got to tell you, I think I was more impacted by you being sick and scared than I realized.
Yes, I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. I do not like you being scared and sad.
No.
I just don't like it.
Nope. Which is why you're taking me out of town for dinner tonight.
That's exactly right.
Yay!
We're going to the melting pot. We're going to have some fondue. Do you fondue?
I do fondue.
Do you fondue?
I fondue.
Don't mind if I fondue.
Oh my God, this is bad.
Well, there you have it. There it is. You've done it all and you've said it all. My name is David Austin, and, it's a thrill for me each and every week, sometimes twice a week if nobody asks for it, to come and talk with the prettiest girl I know about business and customer service, because you really are something to see.
Thank you.
And to hear. And I love to be a part of that.
And together, we are building something really exciting with Sherwood Austin Growth Consultants.
That's right. We've shifted the
name.
name a little. Sherwood Austin Growth Consultants.
Yeah.
Because business growth experts or business growth dynamics experts is a little too long. It's a little too wordy.
That's what we are, but the business name is just a little...
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, they need to dial 509-491-2663. 509-491-2663. My name is David Austin, and this has been The Session with Londa and David.